Thank you.
Thank you very much. So my interest here is some of the people that were evicted from Knoll House were my clients. These were frontline workers. So just before we start, can I just confirm there has been a site visit on this property by councillors? There hasn't. Okay, thank you. So, dear councillors, so I've come here today to express my deep concern and strong obligation to the proposed plans for Knoll House, which has come back to Planning Committee today. It is imperative that you give immediate attention to the following points. Lack of scrutiny. The Policy and Resource Committee that passed the plans for this £9.5 million project was so shockingly deficient in proper examination. With just 3 councillors present, the item was never called for discussion. Such a lack of scrutiny and oversight is unacceptable and raises serious doubts about the validity of the proposed plans. 2. Deviation from the agreed recommendations. The current proposals deviate significantly from the previously agreed upon refurbishment plans. It is evident that the original recommendations were not considered, leading to a bad deal for the city. The proposed project, which includes 4 stories and a substantial cost of £9.5 million, was never debated, discussed or consulted upon by any fully functioning committee. This irregularity undermines the integrity of the decision-making process. What was voted on back in January 2020 was a plan to refurbish, costing £1.3 million, with a £1.3 million grant coming from Homes England. A report never came back as agreed. Instead, a report went to an adult social care subcommittee with just 3 councillors present. Councillor Mears raised significant concerns and fears around the finances, plans and uses of the building, including management. She requested to defer the site pending a visit, as no one in that committee had seen the site, but she had previously seen it. So she had massive concerns about previous investment that had gone into this site. This passed, and then days later, it was never called at the Policy and Resource Committee. Disregard for human rights. The city is facing a dire situation where individuals experiencing homelessness continue to suffer and even die due to the lack of adequate support and housing. The proposed plans fail to address the pressing human rights issue of providing safe and dignified accommodation for those vulnerable individuals. We have a moral duty to prioritise their well-being and uphold their fundamental rights to a home and a chance at a decent life. Since this original report has been indeed increased, the number of wheelchair accessible homes in the city has massively increased and will continue to do so. The actual costs and limited increase in housing capacity is a strong objection. The proposed projects cost £9.5 million and will add just 7 additional homes. An extra 2 stories is unjustifiable. It represents a poor use of public funds, especially when considering the urgent need to address homelessness in the city. The lack of substantial increase in housing capacity raises questions about the effectiveness and efficiency of the proposed plans. Taking into account the original cost agreed in January Health and Wellbeing Board would have been significantly less, and the current capacity than the current capacity of 21 flats. Okay, it might have reduced to 17, but looking at the plans for this building, what officers stated was needing just new walls and a lift, fire stuff and a refresh. Now we're looking at a huge amount more.
Stop you there.
Yeah, that's fine.